Okay, Mark, I love it when you do the countdown.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, citizens! You're now trapped in the Nerd Cage with your hosts Mark and Jay. We hope you have a smashing good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, hide your girlfriend, hide your wives, lock up your doors, run for your life, because Titan Goji will be on NerdCage Live. And as a result, that's right, December 10th, 2020.
Put the cookie down! Now!
Kidnap Mr. Santa Claus?
It has begun!
Hello and welcome. That's right, you're trapped in Nerd Cage Live, where the river's running red tonight. This ain't just a reaction show, but a debate show and a live discussion on everything that makes people like you and I tick. So thank you for joining us tonight. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I'm your co-host, Jay St. G, certified geek 7 days a week, coming to live from Syracuse, New York, and always with me, my man, the warrior from Wakanda, the fiend from Louisville, Mark Withers. Introduce this fine gentleman that's invaded our house tonight.
Hey, what's going on, man? Super excited to be here as usual. And yes, our next guest needs no introduction whatsoever. He is a legend in hard rock and metal, coming to us all the way from Long Island, New York, from Life of Agony, Joey Z. How are you, sir?
What's up? What an intro, bro. What an intro, man.
Give it up, everybody. Give it up in the chat. Come on.
Dude. I'll send you that $100 in the envelope.
Venmo. Now, just joking.
I'm old school, bro. I'm throwing in an envelope.
Hey, it still works.
How's it going, you guys?
Yo, it's
thank
going.
Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me, you guys.
Dude, we've been plotting this for months.
Let's make a point about something right now. How cool does this screen look for everyone? By the way, everybody, thanks to these fine young gentlemen, they made it extra LOA-esque for you tonight. So
awesome.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yes, River Runs Red, one of my favorite albums of all time. That album speaks to me. Like, everyone, if you haven't checked out LOA, please pick up the album. Also pick up their latest album, Scars. And yes, like, oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah,
like,
start with River Runs Red, like you said. Start with River Runs Red even. Or start with Scars and go backwards. You know, it works either way. I think it could work either way.
And look at the chat. We got Paul Tackett in the house. Off the Beaten Podcast in the house. Titan Goji's here. Betty Rage is here. Yes. It's a party. Thank you for everyone. Thanks for everyone being here.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for coming on with us.
And I hope all the LOA fans are here too, and hopefully we earn their subscription at the end of the night as well.
I'm sure they'll be here. I'm sure they're going to pop in.
Yeah.
Everyone's probably going to trickle in from their nightly escapades, whatever they're doing out there.
Yes, absolutely.
Right on.
So, Joey, man, what have you been up to? So, the band was on tour, and then COVID happened. So, just tell us what's going on.
Oh, man, let me tell you something. It felt like the rug was just, yanked from us. We released Sound of Scars in October. of 2019. Everything was going so well. I tell you, man, the album kicks ass. Again, if anyone out there hasn't heard it, go check it out. Go pick it up or just go stream it, whatever. But yeah, all the touring was like really coming together. We were doing some killer shows in Europe, and we had this whole American tour booked for March, and I think it was March 12th. I'm sitting on my porch right now, and I had all of my gear and luggage and suitcases, whatever, on this porch that I'm on right now. And the night of the 12th, we're leaving on the 13th. At 9 o'clock at night, I get a call from my agent, and he said, the tour has been canceled due to COVID. I was like, COVID? What? And I didn't want to believe it, that my own bandmates were like, Joe, we're not going on tour. They told us we're not going. I wouldn't accept it. I was yelling at people. I was making phone calls. I'm like, we're going on tour. I don't care. Like, I really didn't, back at that moment, really have, no one really had a good, enough information or knowledge about this thing. So I guess I overreacted a little bit, and I started out with anger because I really wanted to leave for the tour. We had a full, I think it was like 3.5 weeks booked across the United States. And I was bummed, man. And that's how this whole thing started. And since then, it's been a blessing and a curse all at the same time. If you don't mind me, I'm going to keep rattling things off of you because I got
this is your show. This is your hour. So
again, like, why I say it's a blessing and a curse is because the time I've gotten to spend with my family has been the best part of this whole thing.
Yes.
And the time that I haven't got to spend with my other family, which is Life of Agony, has been horrible. So I have this blessing to be with my children and my wife every day, and we do things together. We call ourselves the Z-Pack now. We ride bikes in the neighborhood, and everyone knows us as the Z-Pack. Oh, here they come down the street. But we do all kinds of things. We watch movies. We have our TV shows. We cook for each other every night. Our daughters cooked us dinner the other night for the first time.
Wow, that's terrific.
They're 14 and 12. They cooked us an Asian dinner with Asian dumplings and this crazy red pepper paste and whatever. But it was delicious, and we're just doing a lot of great things together. And then at the same time, I'm dying on the inside because I just miss being out on the road. I miss playing. I miss getting up on a stage and just releasing all of that tension inside me and all of that therapy that we basically, that every time we hit the stage, it's like a therapy session. So I'm missing that part, and it's been difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I've had a lot of depressed days, and then I've had a lot of happy days, like I said. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
The best way I could describe it. It's been totally nutty.
I speak for everybody here. Like, I'm glad to hear that you and your family are safe, though, and I'm glad you're doing. And I'm glad you're able to spend time with them, because I know, since I've known you, I know you guys have toured frequently, whether if it's here or in Europe and whatnot. And I know you probably spent extra time away from your family. So I mean, there's that kind of like you said, double-edged sword there.
Yeah, and we've gotten a chance to do a lot of things that we wouldn't have the chance to do. You got to remember, the kids are in school. Normally, even when I'm home from tour, they're in school every day. Then they have homework when they get home, whether I'm helping them or not. They usually do it on their own now because they're a little older now, high school and middle school. And so to have this extra time together to do those things, I've always said one thing. I've said, when I win the lotto, or when people win the lotto, you're winning time. You're not just winning money, you're winning time. Because then you don't have to, you can kind of do whatever you want and utilize your time however you like. And I think that's really, when someone wins the lotto, they're winning time. So here's this gift of the gift part of COVID, where they, this whole thing where you just got a whole bunch of time, dedicated to yourself and your family. And it's crazy because every day you say to yourself, well, how am I going to use this time today? And it gets hard to believe it or not, I've been so creative during this whole thing, Mark and Jay.
Yeah.
I've been creative. I played a lot of guitar. I feel like my chops is better than ever now.
Great.
I feel like I've grown as a musician because of it. But at the same time, when I'm spending time downstairs I have a recording studio here in the house, full recording studio. We'll get into that later, but
Yes, shout out to Joey Z Productions.
that's right.
Yeah, I haven't forgotten.
Yeah, man. And we'll get into that, but when I'm downstairs, whether I'm working with a client, because I still have clients, I'm finishing a record for Kill Code, great band, by the way, from New York.
Cool.
But when I'm down there playing guitar or working on stuff, and I know they're upstairs and they're either on their iPads or they're done with school for that day, I just want to put everything down and just go upstairs and hang out with them. So it's like, again, it's like this balance, this whole balancing act that you got to kind of, how would you say, navigate every day through. This wonderful balancing act between being creative, hanging out with the family, having some responsibilities for the house. There's been challenges, but there's been so many blessings.
Yes.
I bet. Now, in this age of sort of, now we live in this age where everything's sort of virtual. Even the show that we're doing, we're all in different cities. Are you doing any kind of virtual sessions with the rest of the Life of Agony guys, writing together, maybe doing any kind of practices together, anything like that?
Well, we have done Zooms. I've been getting together I've gotten together with Veronica, who's the drummer. She lives, I'm blessed to have Veronica just moved to New York. She was living in Los Angeles. If whoever doesn't know Life of Agony, Veronica Bellino is the drummer of Life of Agony. Mm-hmm. Veronica, right before COVID, bought a house 12 minutes from me, right here, from Los Angeles to Massapequa, right here in Massapequa, New York. Yes. I'm in Merrick. And she now lives 12 minutes. So during this thing, after some months went by, we started, how would you say, quarantining together. She came to the beach with her friends and my family. We started doing things like that, having a little food or coffee together. And I went over her house a month or so ago, and we did some jamming finally, and it felt so freaking great, man. To jam with her, just to plug in and jam.
Yeah.
So good, man. We're going to do a lot more of that. But when it comes to the other parts of LOA, we haven't gotten together as a full band yet. Nina's been doing her thing. She's been quarantining. She's in Brooklyn. It's a little different situation in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
As you know, people on top of people. Nina's being very careful, which I don't blame her.
Yeah.
I totally hear that, and we all give her 100% of our support for her wishes about being careful right now. Alan, the same. He's in New Jersey. New Jersey has had a ton of different spikes, COVID spikes in Jersey, and Alan doesn't want to risk it for his family and his loved one.
No, I get it.
So, Mark, I know you're asking about virtual stuff. We haven't jammed virtually yet. Mm-hmm. We really miss jamming, of course, and as soon as we could get together physically and jam, I think we're gonna start there. Although Nina and I did do an acoustic piece, we covered Radiohead's Exit Music. I don't know if you know that song.
Oh wow!
It's a really cool song. So Nina and I did we shared some files, and a friend of Lee Brooks, actually, our video director for LOA, he put it together for us, and that turned out pretty good. So we've been doing little things here and there, but nothing major yet. We've had some opportunities to do some shows, some virtual shows, but again, we had to politely, decline the opportunities for now until the band feels safe enough to get together. But other than that, I will continue to jam with Veronica because that is one heck of a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
I will continue to do my my guitar work here in my studio, and I can't wait for that day to be up there again, man.
Same here. I can't
That's
wait. I
awesome.
can't wait to go to my next LOA show. I'll be there.
Oh my God.
You know I'll be there.
Yeah, I keep trying. I lay down in bed at night sometimes, and I try to imagine what it's going to be like, literally to be up on a stage and to just look out into the audience. What is that audience going to look like? What are they going to do? How close are they going to be to each other? Like,
Yeah, we're all wondering the same thing.
These are all thoughts. Like, I'm laying there and I'm actually like seeing it. I'm visualizing it, and what I'd like to see is what I remember is just everyone together, just going bananas with each other. Is really what I want to see when we get back out there. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Hopefully it will be. If not, I'll take whatever we can get at this point.
For those who don't know, if you ever been to an LOA show, protect your ribs, get ready for the stage divers. Like, it's nutty. I love it. I live for
it. We used to say, bring your body armor with you. Wear your best Darth Vader outfit, right, Mark?
Nice. Yeah, I will bring my helmet for sure.
Bring your helmet, bro.
It's how we do it in the East Coast.
Yeah, hell yeah. You got to bring your helmet and pants.
Yes. So, question. You have another project that I was lucky enough to catch in Long Island way back when. Zire's War. Anything going on with Zire's War right now?
Well, I wrote a bunch of music that I kind of just put away in the computer. I have some other ideas, though. I believe it or not, I had another project. Zire's War was a little fun thing I did with a few friends. I have another project, believe it or not, that it's heavy as well.
All right.
That I started writing for. I might end up using some of the Zire's War material for it. I'm not sure. But again, it's so loose right now. In other words, like, I have no solid plan. I think it's hard to have any solid plans right now in general. So all I do is I keep writing material and I keep just banking it in the computer, man. Like, literally, like putting away riffs in a bank.
There we go.
Yeah, and I have some song ideas. I've been doing a lot of movie sound from movies and TV now.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
I've been doing audio. I'm even writing some musical pieces that will soon be available for platforms like for TV shows and stuff like that. I'm doing a lot of stuff in the studio right now, which is awesome because it's keeping me busy. I had the wonderful opportunity of a good friend that hired me. It was called Dark Moon Entertainment, the company.
Cool.
And unfortunately, right now, they kind of took a pause. But for some months there, I was doing sound for TV and film. I was on set. I was, wiring up the actors. I was mixing it back here at the house for documentaries. So really cool stuff. Like, that's the beauty of this thing because it broke us all out of our comfort zones.
Yes.
It forced us to think out of the box a little bit. I don't know if I normally would have ever ended up doing sound for TV and film, but due to this COVID thing, I've gotten these opportunities and I took them. And I'm like,
congrats.
Man, I'm breaking into this new thing and it's awesome. We're working on a virtual reality piece right now that I did all the sound for in virtual reality. So you move your head and all the sounds stay with. It's just awesome.
Awesome.
And I got all these programs now and all this new gear I'm using, and the studio's growing here at the house. It's just fantastic, man.
Hey, we got a question for you in the chat. Paul Tackett from Kentucky actually asked, how long do you practice every day?
I tell you what, I try to pick up the guitar every single day. I don't have a specific time. I really go by my heart and the way I'm feeling, and obviously what's going on in the house or how much time I actually have. I pick up the guitar every day. Matter of fact, I have something to share with you guys. A really cool guitar company called Reverend Guitars. Ken Haas over there at Reverend Guitars just recently sent me a Reverend guitar. In the middle of this pandemic, they're overwhelmed, this company, with orders and stuff, and a very growing company, popular. And he went out of his way to send me a brand new Reverend Sensei RA guitar. I opened this thing. I wish I would have just had it handy. I would have ran and got it just to show you this guitar.
Yeah.
Dude, this thing came in the mail. I first of all, I was so psyched he was so cool just to send me one to check
Christmas
out.
came early.
Yeah, it was, and my birthday's tomorrow, so it was perfect.
Everybody wish Joey a happy birthday. His birthday's tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm an old bastard. Old dirty bastard. No. So he sent me this wonderful guitar, and I was so excited. I opened this thing, and it's freaking beautiful. If you go online, check out Reverend Guitars, man. They're very family-run type company, and the quality of the guitar. As soon as I took it out of the case and I strummed it, it just sang right away. I was like, whoa. I mean, this thing has some vibe. And I sent email out to Ken and thanked him up and down, like, thank you, man. Like, oh my God, this thing is beautiful. So I just wanted to throw that in there because talking about playing guitar every day, I picked up that Reverend Sensei every day since it's shown up.
Awesome.
I can't stop playing that thing, man. And it's a lot of fun.
It sounds like it's your new favorite.
It's I mean, right, you get something new. It's like, oh my God. It's awesome. It really, it deserves to be called a new favorite, definitely.
Excellent.
Yeah, man.
Right on.
All right. So Mark, what do you got?
So No, that's definitely. This is all stuff that we want to hear. That's why we asked you to come on. This is what everybody's kind of tuning in to find out.
Right.
So
exactly.
so I was reading a little bit about the last album. The last album you had. I'm sorry, the name escapes me. Something Scars.
The Sound of Scars.
Sound of Scars. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
And I read that it was produced by Sylvia Massey, and I'm actually a pretty. And you, okay, all right, yeah. So I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's co-produced. Yeah. So I was going to ask you, how did that come about? Like, what was it like to work with Sylvia? Because I know that she did a lot of work with Tool in the early days and with some other bands and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah. So I'll take you back to 2005. The story actually starts in 2005. Well, actually 2004. We were writing for a record called Broken Valley back then. And we were checking out producers at the time, and we had a handful of producers come down to New York to sit in with us and just feel out the vibe and feel out ideas back then in 2004. Sylvia was one of those people we asked to fly in to check out in 2004. A gentleman by the name of Greg Fiddleman, I'm sure you may have heard that name, who produced Slipknot, Metallica. He works with Rick Rubin. He did Metallica's last two records. Anyway, Greg ended up coming down in 2004. We ended up going with Greg at that time, just due to a collective decision between the band, our manager, everyone involved at the time. We ended up going with Greg, which was we're happy we did. It was an amazing experience for the album, Broken Valley. But it always was in the back of our heads that, man, it would have been so cool to work with Sylvia too. You can't, we couldn't pick both of them back then. So we always had that idea. So with this new album that we just wrote and recorded, the idea was, how could we work with Sylvia? And also, basically the band wanted me to be involved in this one, and I, of course, would love, wanted to be involved in it. So the idea came about, let's go do drums with Sylvia in Oregon, in her drum room, in that classic drum room, that church. Let's go do drums there. Then we'll take the hard drive back here to my studio. I'll do guitars, bass, and vocals. And then we'll fly that hard drive back to Sylvia and we'll let her mix it and let her throw her last bits on there,
That's what's up.
So that was the plan, and we were like, boom, let's just do it like that. That's the way we executed it. We flew out to Oregon. We lived there for a week. It was a great experience with Sylvia. The studio is phenomenal. She's in Ashland, Oregon, and the studio is dope. It's in this old church that they run there, and it's all set up, and she has a mic collection that would make you dizzy.
Wow.
It's insane. It was so much fun to be there, so much fun to work with her. We did exactly that. We took that hard drive, we flew home with it. I plugged it in here and we went right to work. I actually went right to work. I set up my room like a stage. I I bought this 6-foot wide by 5 feet tall banner of the crowd at Wembley Stadium, and I put it on my wall. I had it printed, a gigantic photo. It's still down in the studio for inspiration to do my guitar tracks. So it's just this giant crowd on the wall, what I'm used to seeing outside with the sun. And I set up all wedges in my studio with side fills, so I felt like I was on stage. Then I would just hit record and hit loop, and I would record myself for hours and just keep saving. And then so there was some days I would record like that, and then some days I would just sit in front of the computer and listen to all those takes I did and say, ooh, I like that, and I would save that piece. And then, ooh, I like that for that song, save that piece. And that's how I started building my guitar tracks for the last album.
Nice.
Wow.
After I was finished, I had Alan come to the studio for bass, and he lived here in my house in the guest room for about, I think he did bass for about 4 or 5 days. He lived here for 5 days. We did bass every day, morning and night downstairs. I drove him nuts. So we got the bass tracks done, and then it was time to work with Mina, and that was just extra special because, you know, getting to work with my cousin for the first time on vocals, it was just her and I, one-on-one every day for a month straight.
Awesome.
Cousin and cousin every day for a month straight. And I feel like we were able to get to those deep places. You know, we were able to peel back those layers a bit in her because we were alone. That was the whole thing, is to make sure we were alone every day so that she could be herself, she could cry, she could wail, she could laugh, she could just do whatever she wants and feel comfortable because she could do whatever she wants in front of me. I'm a family.
Okay, I got a question for you regarding the album, and I got a question from the chat here. So, so what made you guys decide to make the Sound of Scars the follow-up, the true follow-up to River Runs Red? What made you guys ultimately decide to follow up River Runs Red?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So when we were writing the record, we also wrote the record. Basically, how it went down is we shared a bunch of ideas. We call them song seeds. That's what we do here. We share some song seeds with each other and stuff like that, some ideas, riffs, and all that kind of good stuff. And when those songs, usually Alan and I will get together and for this album, I should say, what we did was we got together, Alan and I, we kind of started piecing these songs together and these seeds together, kind of weaving things together. And then once we felt like the songs were at a point where they were jammable, then we would send them over to Veronica and Mina and say, you guys come here to my house. You know, I have the live room downstairs in the studio. So we set up live. So the band would come to my house for days and we would jam these ideas and these songs. Okay? So while we were doing that, we would have coffee. We'd take coffee breaks. And the album started feeling very much like it was reminiscent of River Runs Red, because that's the way we wrote River Runs Red. We went back to that old school style of writing where Alan and I would just sit on the floor, sit in the living room or wherever, in the basement, and share ideas one-on-one, mano a mano. And it felt very much like that again, like the old days, like River Runs Red style, like just putting our heads together and putting our brains together and coming up with some cool stuff. So, with that being said, we were hanging out one day having coffee here. You know, we were jamming on a bunch of songs. I think we had about 6 songs. And Alan brought up the idea. He said, hear me out, guys. He just came out with it. He was like, what if that person at the end of River Runs Red survived? What would their life be like today? And that was it. And that's what started.
So it was Alan.
Yes. Alan's amazing.
Yes.
Alan is a genius. He's like the brain, you know, like when you have like this alien creature that comes from outer space. Like imagine LOA is an alien creature and Alan is just like the brain that's throbbing in the alien's head.
Like the leader from the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, like that. Like Alan's just like he's always thinking. Mm-hmm. And he's always coming up with great stuff. So so Alan was like, well, what if? And would you guys be down with that? What if we did the interlude? So speaking of which, so once Alan and I started talking about that part of it, well, what would this person's life be like? We quickly were able to come up with what these interludes would have to be.
Mm-hmm.
So after we did that, it was my responsibility to record these interludes in my house. So I used friends. And everything you hear there is recorded right here in this house.
Oh, that is. I was wondering. I was listening to Sound of Scars at work the other night, and I was wondering, like, so who's recording all this? So.
That was me.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I dig it.
Fun. It was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of friends of mine that a lot of neighborhood friends that got to come. Some family members. My brother-in-law is on there. I don't want to give away too much because I don't want to ruin it for people, but I record. I had mics set up in the bathroom with the bathtub and the steps, and I had mics all over my house. My wife probably wanted to kill me because the whole house was mic'd up.
My mind's blown right now, dude.
Yeah, I did a lot of work on that, but I'm very happy with the way it turned out. The band wasn't even here for any of it.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
They heard it when I was finished with each piece, and they were just like mind blown. They were like, Joe, how did you, it was so rewarding. This record to me, this record is so important to me.
Yes.
This is the first time I produced a Life of Agony record, although we've always been producing.
Link in the description, people, to pick up the album.
Yeah, we've always been producing, I always got my sound in the studio and stuff like that, but I really produced this record. I really was the one, the responsibility was mine.
Excellent work.
Thank you. Again, like from the guitars to the bass to the vocals to all those interludes, that was all the work that I was able to put in. And I feel very blessed that the band had my back on it and that the band was like so gung-ho for me to do it. And I just look forward to the next one now. I can't wait to dig in again and see what happens.
Okay, and we got a question in the chat here. So, Off the Beaten podcast from Chicago, Dion's a good friend of ours. He says, do you think COVID will result in any permanent changes in how you or the band approach the business side of things in any way, or changes in the creative process?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think we're all asking the same question. I find myself asking my agent, and there's so much doubt in the air, which is sad because it's the last thing you want when you're up against such a challenging time in your life. You don't want the doubt, but I hope that we could sustain what we've done in the past, and I hope we could grow from here. I think the music industry does need to change. I think the value of music needs to come back. Right. I hope that COVID has a positive effect in that sense on the music industry. I hope it has a positive effect all around. I don't know if it will, but in the sense that music is important to people and going out to a show is important, I think having it taken away from us for a minute there's something about it. It's like everyone got a little too comfortable sitting on YouTube. I'm sorry, I love YouTube, by the way. Not bash. I love it. I go on myself. I love looking at all my favorite bands as well when I can't be in Portugal to see Sepultura.
Right.
But bottom line is, we do got to get back out to the shows. We do got to, you got to support the bands. You got to pick up their music. I know there's a lot of streaming now and all these streaming platforms, and I get it, and that's where the world's going. And, you can't stand there with a big, you can't stand there with a shotgun and tell people what they should be doing. You just got to go with the flow. So, all I got to say is try to support the band as much as you can. If you have a favorite band, I know I do. I still buy records. I'm a mental case. People think I'm crazy. It's not, maybe I don't buy a CD anymore, but I buy it on my phone. I actually buy it. When Gojira releases their new record, I buy it.
Love Gojira.
Yeah, man, my favorite new band. When one of my favorite bands releases a record, or even like if someone says to me, "Hey Joe, you ever hear of this artist?" No, I haven't. you should check out their record. Oh, which record you like? I like this record. Instead of just going and listen to a song, I'll actually go and just buy the record. $13, dude.
Yeah.
You eat a sandwich for lunch and you get a drink and a bag of chips, it's $13. You can't buy a record? It's like, what happened to there's no value to music, to what we do.
Yeah.
It's so sad when I think about it.
Yeah.
You know, people spend $60, $70 on a cheap dinner somewhere, a cheap dinner, but they will complain to buy a $15 record of their favorite band. I'm not buying it, it's $15. What? Like what? It makes no sense. So anyway, I guess my point is, support the band. I hope this COVID thing wakes people up to the sense that go back out to the shows. We used to, think back when there was a scene, guys. When actually each city had a scene. You know what I'm talking about there in Louisville?
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about here in New York, Jay?
Yep.
There was scenes, man. Like, there was a vibe. You went to a club, you saw those same people. Hey, man, what's up? Oh, I can't wait to see this band tonight. It was just a vibe. It's just gone, man.
Yeah.
I go to venues and they're half empty and no one cares and there's no vibe.
Yeah.
It's just very strange. I feel bad for the younger generation that they didn't get to have what we had.
Yeah.
They didn't get to experience like music the way we did.
Right.
Man, I can't tell you how excited I used to get to go to a show as a young guy and go see all my favorite bands, whether it was hardcore bands like, Cro-Mags and Agnostic Front and, Sheer Terror and Leeway and all these great bands, and then going to see metal shows, forget about it, going to see Pantera and Slayer at L'Amour's. Oh my God, what a bloodbath. But it was the experience of that, man. Like, you can't replace those moments.
Yeah.
It's just
100%.
unbelievable. They're burned in my memory. Like, I could bring myself right back to it like I was there yesterday. Like, Slayer at L'Amour's. Holy man, it was such an amazing show.
I think you really touched on something like important there, because like I'm old enough to remember like the pre-digital age, and like, when you heard a song on the radio or you saw a video from a band and it just like hit you like full force and you wanted that song like right then. And so like you had to like, I remember being like a kid and just like waiting for hours, like listening to the radio station, hoping that song would come on again. You know what I mean? And the excitement that happened, like when that happened, it would really hit you. And it did a lot to like develop me as a music fan, particularly as a metal fan. And so I think you're right about like this generation and the generations that are going to come after aren't going to ever have that excitement, because now everything's sort of at the palm of your hand and you can listen to a song whenever you feel like. And so, that, and then, the same thing with like going to shows. I used to save money for like weeks to just go, because I knew Iron Maiden was coming in like 6 weeks. So like I have to save as much money as I can, get tickets, and
wait
like that kind of thing
with the other fans just to get a ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
We used to like camp out the night before to get tickets and stuff.
Yeah, what about like home videos? Like, I remember like a band would release a home video. It was amazing. It was amazing just to get the home video when you were a kid,
Right.
Iron Maiden has a home video. I get to see Eddie on my TV. Like, it was just a special time.
Yeah.
Going to the record store and not even knowing what you're going to get that day. Like, I used to go there blind, like, just like, let me see what I find in the shelf, And I would just find the coolest record out of nowhere. Maybe a band I've never heard of, but the cover was so cool. One of those bands ended up being Celtic Frost. And I'm not like this huge Celtic Frost fan, but back then I was just going through and I pulled out this record and I forget the name of it. It's when the devil has like, I don't know, it's really explicit, but like Jesus on like a slingshot. I don't know, it's really fucked up cover. So I saw this album cover and I was like, who is this, man? This is crazy. And I just bought it because it looked cool. I miss those days. Like, people aren't going to be able to, no one gets to do that anymore, man.
Yeah.
There was a discovery part of it. There was a mystique.
Yeah.
There was a mystique back then. It was just really cool, man.
Yeah.
And I wish that on the next gen. I wish that, and I know it can't happen, so my wishes aren't going to come true in that sense.
Okay, Joey, I've been aching to ask you all week.
Yeah.
So, there's a couple people in the chat here who I know are diehard Ozzy Osbourne fans. Now, I was doing a little research. So, during the Ugly Cycle, the second album, for those who don't know, you guys opened for Ozzy.
Oh, yeah.
And he also played Ozfest in 98.
And that was,
Please tell me if you have any stories about Ozzy. Everybody, we would love to hear, and everyone in the chat would love to hear any Ozzy stories, please.
Dude, I got a ton of Ozzy stories.
Oh,
Dude,
yes.
We did two full tours with Ozzy Osbourne. It was the best, honestly, the best 2 tours that I've ever done. And I've done quite a few, obviously. But the Ozzy Osbourne tours were extra special. The first one we did was in 1996. It was actually the first story I have for you is a really screwed up one. It's pretty funny, but it's screwed up because I was such a jackass. It was New Year's Eve, and it was the first night of the Ozzy tour, and we were in Denver, Colorado. It was our first time ever playing an arena with Ozzy Osbourne or playing on the tour. It was New Year's Eve, though, and it was Ozzy Osbourne, Korn, and Life of Agony.
Oh, my God.
That show.
Man.
And Korn just came out. They had their first record out. We were on our second record, but they were still going on after us because Blind was taking off on the radio on that album. And it was on that tour that Blind just shot out. So anyway, getting back to the story, it was New Year's Eve, and I had one of my best friends was doing lights for us back then, and his name was Mike Organo. We called him Neg. And Neg had a bottle of Jim Beam. And he's like, it's New Year's Eve, we got to do a few shots. And it was in the middle of the day. It was probably about, I shouldn't say middle of the day, it was probably right after sound check. It was about 5 o'clock. So we were on the tour bus, and we start doing a couple of shots of Jim Beam. Now, I never drink before I play usually. I'll have a beer maybe once in a blue moon. But it was New Year's Eve, Korn guys were hanging out. We were all, the first night of the tour, we're all getting acquainted. And, I may have had a couple of too many shots.
Oh, no.
So, first night of the tour, Denver, Colorado, bro. I forgot about the altitude thing. Oh, wow. So I get on stage. First song, we start with This Time. It's the song where I started on guitar. On River Runs Red, it's the first song. And so we come out that way. And it's about, I probably, the arena wasn't full yet. It was about half or 3/4 full. Again, it was New Year's Eve. Everyone's partying, so the crowd's even drunk. You could totally tell. Life of Agony comes out on the stage. I start the song, and I'm kind of as a serious buzz, right? Next thing I know, I just hear feedback, and I'm lying on my back. I passed out, and I banged my head against the cabinet, the guitar cabinet.
Oh, no.
I passed out in front of about 11,000 people in the arena.
Oh, my God.
While I started the first song, I passed right out on my feet, and I fell on the stage. Next thing I know, all I hear is feedback. I'm lying on the ground on the stage. First night, opening Fozzy, first song. Wow. Then I see my cousin above me laughing into the microphone. The band's still playing. The band's playing the song. Alan and Sal, our drummer then, they went into the song. Now I'm lost. Mina's looking, Keith at the time, looking over me, laughing, pretty much laughing. Like, are you all right? Are you all right? Picking me up. I finally get my wits about me, and I realize where we were in the beginning of the song, and I just pick up from there. And I was so mortified that I must have sobered up so quick because I was in front of all those people, and people are cheering that I fell. The crowd was going mad because I fell. Of course, I ended up telling everyone I had a couple of too many shots, and that, of course, they went crazy.
Right.
That was just a fun thing for them. But that was like my first big Ozzy moment. Another big one was at the end of that very tour, the first night and the last night, I'll tell you, we were in Hershey Park, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
You know, the Philadelphia Flyers arena we were playing with Ozzy. So it's the end of the tour now. That was the beginning. Now we're going straight to the end.
You survived.
Yes. So Sharon, we had one amazing tour, and the family, by the way, Ozzy and is, oh my God, what a beautiful family, and they welcomed us, and we were tight, and they treated us like gold. Just so everyone knows.
That's great to know.
Oh, they're amazing families. So at the end of the tour, Sharon, you know, we're in Hershey Park, and backstage there were these giant, you know, the Hershey Kisses, you know, the outfits like people put on.
Yeah, yes.
You know, there's giant, like, they look like giant tinfoil. They have the big eyes.
Yeah, like gumdrop-looking things, yeah.
Yeah, so we're in an arena, so I guess during the Flyers game, because you're so close to Hershey Park, the people probably dress up in those things and come out during the halftime, whatever. Sharon has this crazy idea. She's like, because it's the last night of the tour, to mess with Ozzy, she was like, Joey, we're going to put you in one of the Hershey Kiss. She's telling me, we're going to put you, meaning me, in a Hershey Kiss outfit, and you're going to go up on stage, you're in Crazy Train, and go after Ozzy. Right? And I have pictures of this. I have pictures in my photo album.
Oh, that's awesome.
So wait, and I heard there's a video of it.
Oh my God, we got to check that video down.
So Sharon, they put me, the crew puts me in this Hershey Kiss outfit, and you can't get out of it. You need people to put it over you, because there's straps so you could actually be inside of it and actually walk. Your only thing that's hanging out are your legs, and you could see through, like, the eyes have this, like, you know, mesh, whatever. So I get in the outfit, and Crazy Train starts, and they send me up on the ramp to go after Ozzy. I get on stage, and there's 18,000 crazy Ozzy fans going bananas because Crazy Train, they're playing. And I'm going after Ozzy. I'm walking, waddling across the stage. He sees me, and he goes, what the fuck? Just like that in the microphone. He runs over to me and kicks me down. Ozzy kicks me. I lose my balance, and I start rolling around in a circle on the ground on the stage because the costume is top-heavy. So I'm now rolling like a top inside the outfit, laughing my ass off.
Oh my God!
Just kicked me on the ground. The crew came out, helped me off the stage. You know, Ozzy still didn't know who was inside. He didn't know it was me till after the show.
Right.
Oh my God! That's really one for the ages. My God.
Yeah, that really.
Yeah, that's a good story.
That happened. So. You know, and then Ozfest '98 was fantastic, man. That was great because that was outdoors, of course, in the summer, and Ozfest was extra special. I mean, we had such a great lineup for that Ozfest. We had Ozzy, of course, Tool, Megadeth, Soulfly, Limp Bizkit, my God, System of a Down, Incubus, Motorhead, of course, Life of Agony. Who else was on that one?
God, I wish I could go time travel to go to that show.
Oh, dude, what an amazing... And we got to do this every day together. Every day. Oh, my God. And Sharon would throw parties backstage, and all the bands were hanging out. Everyone was cool. We had Snot on that tour.
Yup, I remember Snot.
Man, they were amazing. Who else do we have? We had so many amazing bands that ended up, there were small bands back then, like System of a Down just came out.
Yeah.
Incubus was like a young band. They were going on like first. Like, it was just crazy, bro. Amazing, you know, and that was an amazing tour. I got really, you know, and then it was, of course, was our second tour with Ozzy. We got really close with the family, and, you know, the kids back then were young, Jack, Amy, Kelly, they were all young kids, the Osbournes, they were just young little, so we would just hang with them and have fun and play catch or, you know, like cool kid stuff with them, you know, all the band members and, you know, it was just special times, man.
That's a wonderful story. Thanks so much for sharing that with us, because that's great.
I love sharing it because it actually brings me back, you know, when I tell these stories or talk about it, I should say, it makes me happy. It makes me smile because it's an experience I always want to hang on to, you know.
Yeah.
These experiences in my life, you know, are very dear to me. I think what a lot of people do know about me is that I'm a very humble guy. Got my feet on the ground. Very easily approach. You know me, Jay. I'm easily. I'm very approachable. I'm a people's person. So I'm very appreciative of everything that I've gotten to do, and I look forward to a lot more, of course.
Absolutely. So I want to shift gears just a tad here. So this is definitely a nerdy show, and I want to give people a bit more Joey Z that we don't get to see. So we talked about a few things off camera. We'll get to that. But first, with everything going on in quarantine, you mentioned you're watching a lot of movies and shows. What are you watching now? Please share with us. We want to hear what you're into right now.
Let me give you let you zoom in on my life. Let me give you an idea of what happens here in the Zampella household.
Okay.
Okay, so my wife asked me at dinner tonight, so it's your birthday tomorrow. First, we're gonna go out for a nice dinner. We're gonna go out to dinner. We're gonna go to a hibachi place, and you get a table for yourself, which is awesome. And she was like, what movie? Pick any movie to watch with us and the kids. It's your choice. You get to pick the movie. And of course, I got to pick my favorite movie, and my kids haven't seen it yet. I was like, okay, we're gonna watch The Shining.
Yes.
My man.
Good choice.
Have you seen Dr. Sleep?
Yes.
Oh my God! I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah. It grew on me. At first, I was like, man, I want this to get better, and it did.
But how do you make a sequel 40 years later? They pulled it off great.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did a great job. I wanted to be more blown away. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But I think they did a great job. And for anyone who hasn't seen it and is a big Shining fan, which, like myself, it's my favorite movie. Definitely go see Dr. Sleep. Well, definitely just check it out. You could check it out anywhere right now.
Yeah.
But one movie that I'm very blown away by, that it's become probably one of my favorite new movies, or one of my top 10, is The Joker.
Yes.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh my God.
My man.
Brilliant.
My man.
I swear to God, man, it's like I was like, man, this might be up there with like a top 10 movie for me of all time. Like,
same here.
I literally love that movie. I don't know if it's because we could all somehow identify with him, in our own nerdy, freakish way.
Yeah, no, that movie made my heart sink where he read that file. Spoiler alert, sorry for those who haven't seen it, but my heart sank when he read the file.
Yeah, it touched a lot. It tapped a couple of nerves, I think, in all of us. Like, we were all, I know you guys were, we were all rooting for him in a way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's I don't know. It was just a very, very, very well-made movie, and I loved it, man. I loved it.
I really liked that. Instead of like making it this sort of like comic booky kind of superhero-y kind of a thing, like it's really just like a character study about like what happens to a guy with like a mental condition that goes untreated, where everybody just kind of ignores, they see what's going on, but they choose to kind of step over it. Like what happens to a guy like that? And I think that Joaquin Phoenix like really like took it to this place where you could see that in yourself. Like if this was me, like I could see myself going to this place. And I just think it's a really special movie. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. He hit it right out of the park with that movie. That acting and the way he just played that role is just phenomenal to me.
Yeah. And he won the Oscar too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he quickly, I've always liked his acting, but he quickly became one of my favorite actors because of that movie. Like this,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's some of the stuff we watch here, again, we watch other stuff too, of course, I have 14 and 12-year-old, You know what we've been watching, believe it or not?
Yeah, what's up?
We've been watching this series called Vampire Diaries.
Really?
You ever hear of that?
Yes.
On the CW, I know that. I know that show.
Yeah, actually, you know what's cool about it? It's like you could watch it as a family. It's like it's kind of somewhere down the middle. It's vampires and it's about werewolves, so it's kind of cool, and it's not over the top like scary for the girls. I have 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And they really like the characters, so seeing them happy watching it, it's kind of like has its little like, you know, quirky moments, but kind of cool for any family member. We kind of enjoy it as a family. So watching that as a family,
do you watch any of the spin-offs? Like there's the originals and legacies. There's like a couple of different spin-offs.
Yeah, I heard. We
those are good shows.
We heard some of them are better even. And there's the originals, and then there was Legacy or something like that, or not Legacy.
Yeah, Legacies is the newest one.
The newest one, right?
That's the most recent. Yeah, that's the most recent series.
We're big Star Wars fans, and our friend, family friend, lifelong friend, plays the Mandalorian. You ever see this show, The Mandalorian?
Oh, you're gonna hate me, bro.
Yeah, that's like my favorite.
Yeah.
Jay is not a Star Wars fan at all.
From when we were younger. Plays the Mandalorian. His name is Pedro Pascal. He also was in Narcos.
Pedro Pascal is one of my favorite actors right now.
And he's in Wonder Woman 84.
Everything.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. That is amazing.
We went out when we were
That's awesome. And he's in the new Wonder Woman that's coming out.
Oh, he is going to be? Yeah. I mean, I guess so.
Yeah, he's going to play the main villain, Maxwell Lord.
We haven't how would you say? We haven't connected in many years, it's just because, you know, we just lost touch over the years, but he's been a friend. You know, we've seen each other over the years. You know, it's been quite a number of years since we touched base, but we have to soon. I've been definitely wanting to reach out to Pedro and tell him, congratulate him on all this cool stuff.
That's awesome.
He did Narcos. You know that show Narcos? We watched that.
Yeah, and that's where I first saw him. Yeah.
Well, I met him when we were very young, when we were teenagers. He was going out with my wife. I'm still with my teenage sweetheart. I married I'm with my wife going out 31 years, but we're married 17. Wow. But
that's amazing.
One of her best friends, you know, how I met Pedro was he was going out with my wife's best friend back when we were kids. So we would just always hang out, and then we became kind of friends, and then we'd be at parties together. But then, you know, over the years, I think he moved, and you know, we lost touch a little bit. But yeah, and then to see him doing all his wonderful acting is just extra special, you know. And
that is awesome.
So the family's watching The Mandalorian with Baby Yoda and all that stuff, and Pedro's on the show, so it's cool. You know, we're telling the kids, yeah, that's our friend Pedro. So,
I'm just laughing because I'm looking at the chat because we have some Star Wars fans in there. My buddy Scott, who's also another Syracuse native, he's like, don't do it, Jason. he knows, because he gets on my case all the time about Star Wars.
Wait. Let me see. It looks like you hate the show. That's what you're gonna
I've
say?
never seen it.
He's very anti-Star Wars.
Well, I love Star Wars.
He won't even give it a chance.
Hear me out. I love Star Wars as a kid, but then I watched episode 7. I didn't like it, so I veered away. And everyone keeps pulling my leg about the Mandalorian, and after watching episode 7, I just didn't want to do it. And I'm just laughing because I'm looking at the chat. You know, as we're talking about Mandalorian, and my buddy's just like, Jason, shut your mouth right now.
Jay, you know what, Jay? We'll give you a pass, bro.
It's all good. I mean, if someone invites me over, I will watch it.
No, we gotta force him to watch it. Okay. Watch at least one episode. I mean, it's only like 20-something minutes of your life.
Yeah,
you know.
Are you guys gonna make me do like the?
He's gonna have to do
well, that's
3.
true. You're right.
Yeah,
all right. So you heard Joey. You got to do 3 episodes. Just give it 3 episodes. You'll be hooked.
I'll do it for Joey, but you guys gonna make me do like the Clockwork Orange and just like make me watch so I can't blink.
Put the clamps.
Yeah, and get the eye drops. Like, are you enjoying The Mandalorian? Are you a fan yet? Yes, I'm a fan. End this now. Help.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You know, it's pretty cool show. You know, I think it's definitely geared towards a younger audience in my book, but that's fine because again, I have, you know, we have 2 daughters, so it's kind of cool. and we like Star Wars, and we're into a lot of these movies, and you know, like the Transformers and stuff like that. Pretty cool stuff, you know, like seeing the technology and how they film some of this stuff now, and you know, all the animation. It's really cool stuff. That one Spider-Man movie was really good. With it was like an animated
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes, that was really well
great.
done. That was a great Spider-Man movie. Like that was really cool. We watched that as a family. Yeah, we like some of these movies. You know, what else? You know, it's hard when you're put on the spot to think of everything you're watching, but we definitely try to watch a lot of stuff. Oh, we watch a lot of the survival shows too. You know, that show Alone, when they throw them in the woods, 10 people, and the last person standing gets like $1 million, and there's like bears and wolves on the island.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We like you know, shows like that too.
Okay, I got there's two questions in the chat, and I got a question for you. So I'll get the chat first. So Fawn One Gaming, who's our moderator, he's another Syracuse native. He's wanted to ask you, are there any gamers in the band?
I believe it or not, I'm not a hardcore gamer, but I do play. I do have a couple of games I enjoy a lot. I like Battlefield. I've been playing Battlefield a lot. I don't know if I'm worthy of being a gamer playing Battlefield, but I do like that game.
No, that's a big game.
No, it's a good game. I love the graphics on it. With my daughters, one of my daughters, my little one, I play Resident Evil. We just finished Resident Evil 7, which was pretty awesome.
Yes, it was. That was intense.
Go tell that road.
Oh my God. Fall One Game is he's lit right now. He's a diehard Resident Evil fan. You just lit him up, dude.
Yeah, and then now her and I are so excited over Resident Evil 7 that we were just talking about it today again, my little daughter. We can't wait for Resident Evil 8. We heard it's coming out
next year. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
I can't wait. We saw the trailer and we're like, oh,
yes.
Did you see the trailer? It's really good,
Yep,
actually.
there he is. Fall One Game says, yeah, hell yes, another RE fan. And then Paul from Kentucky, I saw your question. Paul Tackett wanted to ask you, what do you listen to mellow out?
Yeah, hey man, you know, there's a lot of amazing artists that I've been listening to over the years, and you know, when it comes to the more mellow music I listen to, one of my favorite records of all time, believe it or not, of artist by the name of Brandi Carlile.
Oh yeah.
Okay, she wrote a record called The Story. Actually had the great opportunity to go see her live a couple of times. I took my wife. And I actually met Brandi through friends, through Alan's wife, believe it or not, the bass player of Life of Agony. Alan's wife worked her record back then, and I was able to meet Brandi and tell her how much I love her music, how much the family loves her music and her voice. So Brandi's definitely one. I'm a big Bob Marley fan.
Nice.
We'll go in the yard and we'll put on any Bob Marley. Sometimes I'll just put a playlist of Bob Marley on and we'll sit in our yard. We'll have coffee. We'll make a fire pit. Some friends. And
you guys covered Bob Marley, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yes, on one of the rare tracks. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's. I mean, one of my favorite artists of all time. So that's like my chill music. You know, Marley. A lot of the older '80s music I like. Believe it or not, like I'm growing more and more fond of it again. Like it's weird. You know, going back to all those cool '80s songs, whether it's, you know, even like some of the rare artists, the ones you didn't, just to name some, I don't want to start rattling off names, but I'm going back to a lot of that early '80s music that kind of like when you were a kid, you didn't know who it was on the radio, but you knew you liked it. Mm-hmm. So now I'm starting to really get into those artists and like really discover more and peel back some of those layers. So, you know, I'm going to those places when it comes to relaxing music.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to Italian music sometimes when we cook, you know, just because
well, that
it's
makes
fun.
sense.
Yeah, just because it's fun in the background, you know, like hearing it in a different language and the way it sounds coming from the old country. You know, having
You mean like Italian pop music, or like more like
No.
old school, like Dolce Vita kind of?
Yes, exactly. like
Yeah.
Dolce
Of
Vita,
course.
the old school,
Of course.
and, yeah, with some wine, and we're cooking, and we're making a sauce for pasta, and we got this Italian. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And we do that. We do like we'll do like a Mexican night where we make a bunch of like fajitas and burritos, and
Yeah.
and we'll play like Mexican music, but in Spanish and in Spanish, and it's cool because although you don't know what they're singing about, it's more about the vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't understand Spanish fluently, a little bit, but it's nice to have it playing in the background. It
Yeah.
puts you in the frame of mind, and then we have it kind of playing low during dinner. It's kind of fun. You know, you feel like you're in a restaurant. So we're turning the house into a restaurant, like as much as we
That's
can.
a good
you know?
idea.
That is awesome.
It's fun. It makes it fun, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I wanted to recommend something to you, and Mark probably knows where I'm going with this. I'm sure everyone in the chat can kind of sense it. So there's a particular show that we ramble on all of our live streams. Not for the kids, okay? Not for the kids. Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yes.
Have you watched The Boys?
And-
What is it called?
The Boys.
The Boys.
The Boys? No.
Oh,
Okay.
It's a good one?
oh my God.
Yeah, it's got it. Well, they're in their second season now, or they just wrapped their second season. But
Okay.
it's basically about like a world where superheroes exist, but they're sort of run by corporations. So they're essentially terrible people. And there's this group of normal people who aren't powered, who are called the Boys, and they've committed themselves to stopping or not really stopping, but like exposing the heroes who they really are as people. And it's actually like it's really good.
Sounds like a
Joey,
great,
please. I am pulling your leg, Joey. Just watch the first episode with your
I
wife,
will.
not with the kids, and
No,
you
no.
will thank me later. I guarantee
All
it.
right. I'll check it out with my wife. We'll throw it on when we're in bed one night, winding down. We'll put it on.
Oh.
'Cause that's what we'll do. Like we have our own shows. Like, did you watch on Netflix? There was a Ratchet. It was about Nurse Ratchet from Cuckoo's Nest.
I haven't seen it.
Really enjoyed that. You should check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started watching that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. It stays good. Like, it's one of those that, like, I like the whole season from start to finish. One of our favorite shows of all time, though, is Peaky Blinders.
Oh, I've heard of that. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, man, it is the best series show that I've ever watched. I just love the characters. I love the whole vibe of the show is so freaking cool. The acting, the characters are just a classic, dude.
Nice.
Tom Hardy makes a couple of appearances. I won't give anything away.
Nice.
Just some really, really, really great, how would you say, just great episodes.
Yeah.
So, check that out when you get a chance. And I'll check out The Boys. I'll check it out.
Yeah, shoot me an email and let me know what you think, because
Yeah, we got to know what you think.
we definitely want to hear.
without
We
a
definitely want to
doubt.
hear what you think of that.
Without a doubt. I also, I mentioned to you earlier, I see your awesome, I don't know if the people at home could see it, but you got that awesome Godzilla
Yes!
poster
I
behind
was
you.
so waiting in
And I know you've
anticipation.
been waiting for this moment, so I will break the ice. I grew up watching Godzilla movies, and obviously
He's one of
Jay-
us.
Jay obviously is a Godzilla fan as well, a big Godzilla fan. I want to ask you a question now.
Yeah.
So out of all the Godzillas and out of all the Godzilla monsters that appeared in all those movies, who or which version is your favorite monster or favorite Godzilla?
Okay. Whew.
That's
All
a
right,
good
that's
one.
a deep one. It's gonna sound so generic, but I love the original 1954 Godzilla.
too.
Because I feel like that was the one they made him more terrifying. They gave him the ears, the fangs, the angry eyes, and I just feel like that one sticks out to me the most. Now I know it's just so easy, but yeah, I just love that original design, the original 54. And as far as like the other monsters goes, outside Godzilla, oh my god, man!
You know what mine is, bro?
Who?
You know who mine is?
Who?
Monster Zero.
Yes, King Ghidorah.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
That's my second favorite Godzilla movie, Monster Zero.
Yep.
Shout out. No, okay, I'll take it back. So my other favorite monsters, I love the Gargantuas. Have you seen War of the Gargantuas? Yes. All right, my man. I love the Gargantuas.
Yep. I even, believe it or not, and a lot of people didn't like it. I like Mechagodzilla. I thought that was cool. A lot of people are like, how do you like Mechagodzilla? I just like that movie. I don't know. I know it was corny as shit, but I like Mechagodzilla, man.
Oh my God, the chat. Titan Goji
so
from
lost
Houston.
Right now, like I've never seen a kaiju movie ever.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, Pacific Rim, that first Pacific Rim movie.
The first one.
I have seen that.
Friggin' awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That was that was up there again, like with just a great movie. I could watch it a million times. Like, would you wanna? What does he say in that scene? The general, he goes, "Would you wanna die here or in a Jaeger?" Remember that scene? He tells him. I probably did it horrible. Sorry about my bad impersonation.
No, you're good.
No,
Joey, let
it's
me ask you a kaiju related question on behalf of Mark. On behalf of Mark, since you're a fellow kaiju fan, so I've been trying to gently lure Mark in to us as fans, you and I. Where would you recommend Mark to start as far as a Godzilla movie?
Wow. Oh man. I think what you said. Start right at the beginning if he hasn't already. Go straight back to the beginning, like the very beginning, and see that Godzilla that was meant to be terrifying and menacing. And that's when, it was meant for a different audience back then.
Right.
It was, and that's why it had that certain vibe. But over the years, they did a really good job of, I feel keeping that monster alive, keeping that. Even some of the newer Godzilla movies I ended up liking, the more recent ones. I liked the way he looked. I thought he was pissed off looking and mean, and I love the way he, I think you could bounce around, honestly, and Jason, you probably would be better at giving him a running order of which ones to watch when.
Yeah.
But definitely start at the beginning. I think you should catch some of those classics with like Monster Zero and Rodan, and even Mothra. Like even the Godzilla people, Mothra was boring, but you know what? It was something cool about Mothra. You know how Mothra was good, but Rodan was a badass, as you know.
Yes.
Rodan, and you should catch some of those, and then. Wasn't there the original Godzilla vs. King Kong?
Yes.
The first time they met.
Oh, so there's oh wow! So I didn't even know there was like
it was the third movie
Godzilla
from 1962, King Kong versus Godzilla. Now,
That's
Mark,
correct.
Wow.
Mark, you're
I'd
in
be
luck.
interested in that.
They have just about all the classic Godzilla movies on HBO Max, including the Japanese version of 1954. So, Mark, you do have access to these movies.
Awesome. Yeah. I will definitely check it out.
And in Mark's defense, some of them are kind of hard to sit through because, you know this, Jason, it sometimes takes a while to get to where the action really starts. And I try, even when I watch it with my daughters, because they got into Godzilla and I bought the box sets for them. And
Father of the Year right there, everybody. To all the kaiju fans, that's the Father of the Year right there.
Yeah. We would do like living room hangouts and watch we would binge Godzilla movies and watch like a couple in a row at least. And, sometimes it took a little bit to get to the cool parts. And so in Mark's defense, he might be like, these guys are dragging me through the mud with this stuff.
But that's what I said. We gotta lure him in because we gotta start. You can't just throw, check out this movie. No. You gotta pick a couple. Show, hey, check out this one, and tell me what you think.
Exactly.
And then if he enjoys it, then bring in the next wave. Okay, if you like this one, check out this one. That's the thing. You can't just bombard people who's never seen these movies before because it's not, tokusatsu. It's not really like it's not the cool thing in town. It's got an acquired taste. It's like beer's an acquired taste. Kaiju movies are acquired taste, and I just feel like I'm glad you agreed with me. 1954, and I see Paul and Titan Goji in the chat. 1954, the original Japanese cut is the best place to start.
Start there. Definitely
I
start
will
there.
definitely watch that. Because I'll say this much, right? Like, so I've never seen any, well, aside from Pacific Rim, like, I've never really, like, seen any kaiju, like, movie or any kaiju fair, but I love hearing, like, guys like you talk about it. Like, it's so fascinating just to hear, like, terminology and, like, you know, like, you guys talk about the different monsters, and I'm imagining what these monsters, like, look like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Monster
I'm all in.
Zero's
I'm
cool.
ready.
Monster Zero is cool, Mark. I won't give it away, but talk about a cool-looking monster. Yeah.
Cool.
Ghidra.
Yes.
Ghidra.
And I'm seeing some of the chats here. Thanks for all the compliments here. Exotic Tingle Triggers. I know who that is. It's friend from high school. Thank you for coming in. I see she's left a nice compliment here. Says great live, Jason. It was an interesting discussion to watch. Nice seeing and meeting Joey Z, who I knew next to nada about until this show. So yes,
Awesome.
so check out Life of Agony.
Yes, please. By the way, I've been meaning to mention to you, Jason.
Yeah.
I see, you know, you're obviously wearing the Wu-Tang hat. A little piece of little insight into the Sound of Scars, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but we recorded Mina's vocals in Method Man's studio for Sound of Scars.
Oh,
Awesome.
that is
Yeah,
freaking
that's
awesome.
More awesome. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you guys played the
I
same
love
gig
Method
with
Man.
them, though. When I first saw Life of Agony, Tsunami Fest, Reading, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
you guys headlined day one, Wu-Tang headlined day two. Oh my
Yeah.
God, one of the best nights of my life, man.
Yeah, what do you call it? What happened was a friend of mine. I don't know if Method Man's still in the same studio anymore. It was over a year ago now. But a friend of mine runs a studio in Staten Island, and for a little while there, Method Man brought all his equipment into the vocal room because they have a dedicated room just for vocals in this one studio. My good friend Anthony owns. So at the time, Method Man's computer, everything was set up in there. And Anthony asked Meth if it's cool if during the day that we use the studio, meaning Mina and I, because Mina lives in Brooklyn. I'm all the way out here in Long Island. She didn't want to take the train every day out here to Long Island. She would have been pooped to do vocals.
Right.
So the way we did Sound of Scars was I would drive to Brooklyn because it's on the way to Staten Island. I would pick up my cousin every day, or every other day. And then we drive over to Bridge, Staten Island, go to Met Studio, do vocals for like 4 or 5 hours, and then I take the hard drive home here in my studio and I'd start editing. So that was the routine for that last record.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were using all his equipment there
That's
for
awesome.
that last record that we just did.
And shout out about
That's
the last.
dedication, all that driving.
Yeah, it was a lot of driving on my part,
The Long Island Expressway is a bitch.
No, actually it was because I would have to take the Southern State to the Bell Parkway to pick up Mina and then go over the Verrazano Bridge to the studio.
Oh, okay.
So it was, wow, what a nightmare. But then I would come home, but my day was just beginning because then I would have to edit and go through all the vocal tracks we just did.
Wow.
So I'm talking 14, 16-hour days, and then the next morning pick her up again to do the next set.
Wow.
And so forth and so on. So,
How many
yeah.
takes were you all doing, like, for each? Like, I wanted to ask you that before. Like, were you doing like 10 takes a song or 20 takes a song?
Well,
Like,
it
how
depends.
does that-
It depends, you know. It's a feel type thing, you know, Mark. It's like, you know, there were days where it felt like we were getting so much good stuff right away. Like we would we would go to Staten Island, okay, plug in, set up every day, you know, plug in the hard drive, blah, blah, blah. And then I, you know, Mina would tell me, okay, I want to work on this song today. I pull it up and I just let her go. I'd be like, show me what you got. You know, we work together on certain things, you know, on certain lines or certain structures. But then she would kind of just, the days where she was just delivering the goods one take after the next, I wouldn't want to burn her out for the next day or the day after. So I would say, listen, we just got so much good stuff. Either we go to something else or we just stop for today. And say we'd be 2 hours in. We'd be in Staten Island for 2 hours. And then that was it. I got a whole bunch of great stuff for that particular song. Just dropped it off at home, shot over to my studio back at home, plugged in, did some editing, and then showed her the next day what I came up with what she gave me.
Yeah.
And then there were days where we get into Staten Island and maybe there was a more challenging song for her, or some of the ideas weren't as structured yet. So we would do more takes. So
Right.
it was kind of a balancing act, because the days where she was just rolling out with the energy and banging out tracks, we would kind of cut it short, because I didn't want to burn her out for those longer days, which
Right,
I needed
that
her
makes sense.
power for the songs. Say that she was still unsure where in her range she was going to hit that particular song or that particular part. So there was
Right.
more challenging parts here or there. So I think my job was to kind of, how would you say, kind of be the moderator of how much she was allowed to do in any given day.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And was Mina like evolving those melodies as you guys were going, like doing that kind of stuff on the
No.
fly, or was it more she would come in with an idea already?
Yeah, well, we did a lot of that work here in my house when we were writing the songs. We would actually, we would, because again, I was producing, we would also go over, like, we did demoing. It was almost like recording before we recorded, which is
Right.
kind of like, it's a lot of work, but it was worth it, because we were able to find out where her vocals sat in that song. Where was the comfort zone? In other words, what sounded the best from her palette for any particular part of the song? Where did that song need to be sung? You know, and we would do a lot of that work here, so that when we would get to a studio like Staten Island, that she could plug in and kind of go for it. Now things change because ideas come up. You know, it's a creative process. So, you know, things would change occasionally, and she would try things, and I'd be like, "Ooh, I like what you did there. Let's go more in that direction," or,
Right.
you know. So there was a lot of that happening too, which was great. There's a lot of freedom, and that was one thing we all saw to each other, that on this record, we want everyone's ideas heard. We want to explore every option, you know, go down every road, even if that road ended up to be a dead end. You know, we wanted everyone to feel like they were able to put their 2 cents into these songs, and we wanted it to feel like a record that we were all proud of collectively together as a family. And that's something that really did end up happening.
Yeah.
And we walk away from this. It's unfortunate that COVID cut this record cycle short on us, because it was a lot of good momentum and energy going into the live show, because of how much energy we had from the record, from doing the record. So it really sucked that.
Yeah.
We hope we could just pick up from there, because we agreed that we're not in a rush to do another record right away. Like, everyone's like, "Oh my God, I got to write a record. We're in COVID."
Yeah.
Like, no, that's just because you're in COVID doesn't mean you have to write and finish a new record.
Yeah.
It should happen when you're ready. It should happen when you have that proper energy again.
Yeah, naturally.
This band is always very organic. That's how we write albums. We're very organic about it. If we're feeling it and it's coming out of us, then we do it. Alan has been sending some cool ideas to me. I have a bunch of cool ideas in my computer as well. I'm sure everyone's working on music, but when the time is right, we'll start really reading through some of these newer ideas. We're not talking about rushing into doing a record. We're not sure of, you know, what record. We're not sure if we're going to stay with Napalm. We're not sure of anything right now.
Yeah.
We're kind of leaving all our options open. And just
Absolutely.
seeing where this whole thing takes us. We'd like to get back out there and play some of these songs that we didn't get a chance to play.
Come to
Right.
Syracuse, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Come to
remember
Louisville.
what, the Ice House, right?
What's
Remember
that?
the Ice House?
Yeah.
Is that place closed, man?
Yeah. You know, no, I think, like I said, there are a couple places now. The Lost Horizons barely.
Lost Horizon.
Yeah, it's barely still like afloat. And then we got the
Okay.
Westcott Theater, and then we just got in the Reno, the St. Joseph's Amphitheater, which is run by Live Nation. But as far as like, you know, but I would love to see LOA just level the Lost Horizon. That'd be dope as fuck. Mark remembers
Oh
the
my
Lost
God.
Horizon. Mark
Yes.
was a touring musician and a manager. He's been there too.
Awesome, man. Mark, you got to tell me a little bit about you, man. Like, what you got to tell me about your experiences when we have a moment here. I didn't know you were in a band and touring and stuff. You didn't mention it.
Yeah, well, we never got to any kind of big status. We weren't signed to a big label or anything like that. We just jumped in the van and went. You know what I mean?
Hey, we did that too.
And then that sort of evolved for me, like just through networking and meeting bands, that sort of evolved into a life as a tech for me. So I started that's how I met Jason, is like kind of, teching and working with bands, sort of meeting different people in the industry and just sort of networking that way.
Are you still?
But I will tell you this. I know, like, we talked, you and I talked off camera, and I was mentioning to you, like, how much I loved your other band, Stereomud.
Yeah.
And the band that I was actually doing all these things with, Stereomud was, like, actually a pretty big influence on us.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yes, I just want to let you know that, man.
I love that.
To be able to sit here and have this conversation with you about it's kind of a moment,
that's cool. So cool. That Stereomud was, as you know, as I told you off camera, was a really awesome time in my life. It was a fun band. We did some really great things together. There's times where I do really miss playing that music. I love the music we were writing in Stereomud. I was living in Atlanta, so that was a whole new experience for me, which was really cool. I lived down there for like 3 years, which was really dope because Atlanta is a great city. I got a really good taste of the South living in Atlanta, which was fantastic. I'm talking seriously, like a taste, like food even. Like the culture down there is, grits. I was having grits every morning and collard greens, and it was just a great time in my life. I really enjoyed being down there. I really did. I had a lot of fun with Stereomud. We did some great tours, and like I told you, Disturbed. We toured with Seven Dust a lot because there was a family connection there. By the way, amazing band. Of course, whoever hasn't seen Seven Dust is missing one of the best live bands ever.
Amen. New record's fantastic. Have you listened to the new record, Seven Dust record?
Oh, yeah. I heard a couple of songs. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy the new Seven Dust.
And I love the Soundgarden cover. I know it wasn't on the new record, but they released it as a single.
I didn't hear that yet because I didn't get it.
The Day I Tried to Live.
It's great.
It is fantastic.
Really
and this is from a diehard Soundgarden fan like me, and I loved it.
Yeah, Lejean is an awesome, oh my God, what an awesome singer and awesome person.
Yeah.
That whole band, I mean, all of those guys, every single one of them are great people. Like I said, we were like just one big family out there, Stereomud and Seven Dust. We got to tour Crazy Town, all kinds of great tours at that time. So Mark, it was a very special time for me in music and for my career. With Stereomud.
Any chance for a reunion?
We talked about it.
With those guys?
Yeah, we it's not out of the question. We talked about it over the years. The last time it came up was about 3 years ago. I think at different times, different members wanted to do it and other members didn't. I don't think it would be fair to reveal any of the details about it.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't matter. Everyone's friends. But it's just, I guess, timing-wise, it didn't work out in everyone's lives at the same time. Who knows? Right. All I got to say is who knows. You never, crazier things would happen. Crazier things have happened.
Right.
I'm sure as Stereomud getting back together would be a really cool thing, even if it was for just some cool shows and just to reminisce on some cool music.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'd definitely be here for it.
And okay, I'm looking at the time right now, and I obviously want to respect your time, Joey, and Mark's time, and everybody else in the chat. But so we'll wrap this up in a moment here. But I just want to get an opportunity to the fanboy real quick because I love the Sound of Scars, man. I love all your records, Joey, but Sound of Scars, there's two songs that really, really speak to me, and I want to just share that with everybody. One is Empty Hole.
Yeah.
Love that too. But the song that just really just gets me, I have to listen to it every day, is Stone.
Thank you.
Just hearing the lyrics to Stone, what was it? Sink it to the bottom like a stone, oh my gosh, it just
Stone.
Yeah. what was it? I need to find a place to be alone. Sing to the bottom like a stone. Like that just resonates. Like, oh my gosh, I'm a weirdo. Okay, I was a weird dude. I was a weird kid. I was bullied. So like hearing this, oh my god, like that's the song that speaks to me. So please, everyone, and if you look in the description, check out the link to Life of Agony and pick up that record. And if you haven't listened, go back and listen to River Runs Red, Ugly, Broken Valley. I'm sorry, what was the third album? Oh my god, the one with Weeds. Soul Searching Sun.
Soul Searching Sun, yeah.
And of course, the one of the darkest ones you guys ever did, the Place Where There's No Pain.
Yep.
Oh man, you guys have done terrific work.
One of my favorite songs on the new record, real quick, I gotta say, because it was such a really amazing song the way we put it together, was I Surrender.
Yeah.
The last song on the record.
last track, yeah.
The way that song came about is such a cool story. Alan was just randomly showing me a video on his iPhone of him and his daughter messing around with music, and his daughter was singing the song, and it ended up being the melody of, basically what ended up being I Surrender. I heard this or watched this video, and I was like, oh, look, we're playing with music. And I was like, that's a Life of Agony song waiting to be written, bro. He was like, no. I was like, listen to that melody. We ended up using it, and it turned into I Surrender. So it was just from him and his daughter kidding around at home that we wrote this beautiful song. And then we added all our elements to it. I messed around with the riffs. I came up with the ending riff. And then my kids, our kids, Alan's daughter and my two girls, you hear them singing on the end of the song. That's them on the record. So
wow.
You hear them at the end of the song there. So it was a very special song the way it came together. A lot of instruments, the way that we put that song together was very, very cool. So that's one of my personal favorites on the record.
Wow, thanks so much for sharing that with us. I mean,
man.
it was really. I'm so glad you came on here and gave us the opportunity to talk about the sound of scars, because, after we did my previous interview with you and Alan on my previous channel.
Yeah.
Like, all right, well, I want to know about Scar, so I'm so glad to really get an insight on the album, and, again, thank you for hanging out with us. And I have to ask this question. I'm putting you on the damn spot. Yeah. Joey Z, would you like to come back to NerdCage Live?
Absolutely.
Yes.
My man.
Awesome.
Now, Joey, when we close this up, can you stick around for the Zoom call for a quick minute after we close this out?
Bro.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
So Mark, do you got anything to add before we go?
No, I just wanted to thank Joey for spending some time with us. It's a really kind of a big deal to us, as fans of your music and fans of metal in general. We love the stories that you told, and I know that the people, listening and watching right now really appreciate that you came. So it's really a big deal. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to hang out with you guys. Really, really cool people. Thank you.
Yes, and then Joey, I want to give you the floor for a minute. If anything you want to promote, anything you want to talk about before we go.
Yeah, expect Life of Agony. Expect us to be right back out there, hopefully in 2021. There's some big plans. There's also something very special we're releasing soon. I can't say what it is just yet, but it's something pretty big for us. And it's not a record, but it's something just as big. So be prepared for that. It's going to be something very special. Talk about, taking a look inside Life of Agony. You're going to get an extreme look inside Life of Agony soon, and what makes us who we are. So that's something special. There's some other cool things in the works that we're talking about right now. I don't know what I could talk about, which is, again, I never want to give something away and then, we're like, oh, shoot, it was too premature or whatever. So I got to keep my big mouth shut. But just expect a lot of cool things from the band coming up. Mm-hmm. If there's anyone out there that wants their music recorded and done right and done well, come just poke at me, and my email is on my website. Yes. You just email me at joeyzproductions.com. is linked there. And yeah, I can record your music, mix it, master it, whatever you want. I got a killer studio, killer gear here, man. And I'm set. So, I've been doing a lot of work. Bands over in Europe are sending me stuff.
Nice.
And so, that end of things too. As a producer, I'm still like, 110% guns blazing.
There you go.
So, yeah, man. So just hit me up.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty easy to get in touch with me. And yeah, so when it comes to Life with Agony, we will be out there again. Everyone just be well. Stay safe, stay healthy, because we do want to see you back out there when we get out there again.
Yeah, and where can they find your music?
Anyway, I mean, these days, Jay, as you know, It's everywhere. I know there's Life of Agony is on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sound of Scars is there. We're on a bunch of the streaming
Apple Music
platforms, Apple Music. So just I'm sure everyone has access to Life of Agony wherever you are, whatever device you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it was an absolute blessing that you took the time to hang out with us. It really means a lot to me as a fan of your work, and really getting to connect and talk about stuff outside of music has been a real pleasure as well, man. And we'll definitely have to do this again. And please give Mina, Alan, Veronica our best.
I will.
We're like I said, we're huge fans here.
We're doing great, by the way. Just so everyone knows, the band is doing great. We're all healthy, no issues whatsoever. We're all 1,000%. Some days are harder than others. We have a lot of phone calls with each other. Because the depression kicks in and not being able to play or not being able to do what we do best. So that's been hard, but we've been supporting each other. Like I said, a lot of phone calls. I'm on the phone with Mina all the time. We were just texting earlier today, and then, we have calls like at least a couple times a week just to talk. Talk each other into a positive head, So just so the fans and everyone out there know, our friends out there know that we are a tight family, and we will get through this.
Absolutely. We echo that. Okay, so I'll do my little famous outro here. So before we go, we ask you to pretty please like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and spread this shit like syphilis. So the USA, from Brooklyn to Long Island to Syracuse to Louisville, to all of our fans and friends around the world at NerdCage Live, and of course Life of Agony, enjoy life, stay safe, and good night.
Sayonara.
Ladies and gentlemen, hide your girlfriend, hide your wives, lock up your doors, run for your life, because Titan Goji will be on NerdCage Live. And as a result, that's right, December 10th, 2020.
Put the cookie down! Now!
Kidnap Mr. Santa Claus?
It has begun!
Trying to get out of the NerdCage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live!
Thank you for everybody for coming in. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. You guys are goddamn awesome.
See ya.